everybody. Welcome back to our returning listeners, and welcome if this is your first time listening. We're so happy to have you all with us today.
Thank you for joining us for this 11th episode of the Lion Pridecast, a podcast created by the Lansing Unified School District 469, located in Lansing, Kansas.
All right, and the purpose of this podcast is to inform our Lansing stakeholders, being our community members, students, and staff, about all things education. We are your hosts. I am Miles Azzeh, Director of Teaching and Learning in Lansing USD469.
And I am Sharon Burns, the Director of Communications and Marketing. Before we start, we want to send a special thank you to Mr. Blake Vinieri, who he actually wears many hats for our district, and I've listed them out. I wrote them because he has so many job titles. He's the Director of Percussion for the district, our high school and middle school assistant band director, our auditorium technical director, and now we're going to call him our podcast technical guru because he helped us get our equipment set up for this because we've had some sound issues.
We have had some sound issues, so thanks, Blake. And if the sound is terrible in this one, we will...
Thanks, Blake.
But hopefully that's not going to happen. I feel pretty good about things. But seriously, he really helped us out a lot, and I think that having somebody like him in our corner is only going to make us better, Sharon, because I am not good at this technical stuff.
I am not either, obviously.
Yes.
And he walked over in the rain to come help us. So I'm coming.
Thank you, Blake, for walking in the rain to come and help Sharon and I out.
Okay.
In honor of our School Board Appreciation Month, we would like to welcome the new USD 469 Board of Education President, Mr. Jeff Bollin, as our guest today.
Yes, our guest today.
Thanks for having me here, guys. I'm excited. You guys are always real lively, and I think it'll be fun.
Yes.
We'll do our very best.
We'll be kind. And if you're a listener, you know in the past we have done a cheese puff challenge. But due to many people bending the rules,
Dalen,
we've had to get rid of it because, it's a moving target at this point. So we're going to give Dalen the championship. And sorry, Jeff, no cheese puff challenge.
I'm kind of disappointed with that. I was really looking forward to that, but
yeah,
it's okay. We'll go on. We'll move on.
Okay, I'm glad that you were taking it that way. I am a little disappointed. Why does Dalen get to win it then? Because didn't Martin go 3 for 3?
He did, but I threw, remember? Oh, but you know what? I'm a better thrower.
Okay,
I think
let's
maybe
move
Martin
on.
might get
forget it. Did I say
title.
anything? Jeff, first question, pretty easy one. I have to ask, have you listened to any of our podcasts?
I haven't listened to a lot of them completely through. I've listened to bits and pieces of some of them. But I think after doing this one and getting involved, I'll probably have to go back and listen to all of them.
All right.
Yes. Okay, good. Yes. Do you have it? Which ones did you listen to?
I listened to part of Martin Altieri's, the new middle school principal, and I'll also listen to part of Becky Jones.
Yes, also good. Good choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, they're all great, but yes, thank you for, you chose a couple of really good ones there. So Jeff, why don't we usually start with this? Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your connection to the district? We know you're board president, but tell us a little bit about how you got to that point.
Sure. We actually just moved into the district in 2019. But I've been a lifelong resident of Leavenworth County. I actually grew up just north of Leavenworth, and I went to Pleasant Ridge, which is the Easton School District, for my whole life, K through 12. And I went the VOTEC route out of school, went to North Central Kansas Technical College out in Beloit, Kansas, and did the heavy equipment program. I knew from a young age, growing up, I grew up on a farm, and I loved being outside, loved running the equipment and everything else. Mm-hmm. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and so I pursued that route and never looked back. And once I was done with that, I moved back to Leavenworth and started my career with a local company here in town, and I've been with them for 21 years now. Okay. Kind of started at the bottom and moved my way up to management position there, and my wife, and she works for the district now, and have a middle schooler and a high schooler. And once they started here, that's when my wife got the job with the district office here. And I don't know, once I've always been involved with community things, and when we were living in the north end, I was actually on the volunteer fire department out there for about 16 years, and I served as treasurer of that board. And my family's always been involved with the community out there, and I felt the need to try to get involved here. So that's why I decided to run for the board, and It was a long, grueling 6 months, but luckily made it on the board and excited to be here and really excited to serve as president this year and hopefully help make a difference for everyone.
Yeah, I know Amber talks about all the stuff you guys are involved with and volunteering, all the things she's coached in the past. But as far as volunteer positions, I think this is probably, I would venture to say, the most difficult one.
Yeah, this is definitely
between the two of you.
Well, it kind of goes back a history on that. Is my dad actually served on the board out in Easton the whole time I was in school. He was on.
Oh, okay.
And he was board president out there for a long time. And I didn't really come in with aspirations, to be the president and all that. But I guess you could say I'm following the family tradition of being on the board, even though it's a different district.
Your first meeting, you were vice president, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
I remember Amber's eyes, and I saw her. She's like, because she was there that meeting.
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of shocked by the turn of events that day. But I think it's a good thing, and I'm happy to be involved and excited about it. And like you said, it's probably something I didn't really think about, the time commitment, but it is a lot of time, but it's worthwhile. I have learned that.
Yeah.
And it really feels good to be connected in that way when you go to the kids' basketball games, and Amber's the cheerleading sponsor, and my daughter cheers, and going to the high school and going to the middle school, and it really kind of opened my eyes just to, take it all in, not just the game, but the whole environment.
Right.
And yeah,
I like that.
Love that.
But I do want to point out that Jeff is here as an individual board member, not speaking on behalf of the whole board. We want to make sure that's clear. Everything you're saying are from you as Jeff Bollin, the board member. So
And we're hoping that this is, our plan is that this will be a yearly thing.
Yes.
Of in January bringing the board president. So that's kind of something we were thinking about.
We'll be
Just
back this time next January. We're not going to scare you off.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
So do you have any specific goals as president?
I'd say just, this is starting my second year, and I think one goal I would have would just try to bring everybody together with the common goal, and make the kids the forefront of the conversations.
Yes.
And I know it's going to be a struggle. There's been a lot of back and forth and people against other people, but I think if we can all look back and focus and rethink of what the true goal is here, then maybe we can all come to an agreement and try to find that middle ground and meet there. That's what I would really like to see happen by the time my term as president is over.
Yeah.
And I mean, with that also comes a unifying of the board in a way, because everyone watches the meetings. You guys are there.
Right.
There is a lot of votes that or 4-3 votes or 5-2 or either way, but I just like to see everyone going for that common goal and making sure the kids are at the forefront.
I liked that for the strategic planning meeting. I think that was what was, we had to, going in the room and having us all sit down together. We had some disagreements, but everybody there was focused on the same thing, and you really felt that. And I think that helped kind of opening. I thought that was I'm glad that happened right now, the strategic planning stuff, and I wish more people were on it to have been experienced that, because we had board members in every room.
Yeah, it really was a good experience. I mean, just like you said, with having the diversity of the teachers, students, community member, and the board all together in the same room, and being able to have the same conversations and try to come to the same common goal.
Right.
We could do it in a small environment with a small group of people, so that we know we can do it. We just need to come together as a large group and be able to do it.
Right, love that. Yeah.
Yeah, unification is important. I'm glad you brought that up, Sharon. You brought that up a few times.
Right.
And I think no matter what happens, whether we see on the live stream at board meetings or whether things that we hear or whatever, I do feel pretty confident that the best interest of students is really at the heart of a lot of decisions. And so if we can kind of, like you said, keep that in the forefront, I think we have a higher chance of unifying. So kudos to you for bringing that point and making it a goal. So let's go back. You were talking about with Amber working at the district office and your kids attending middle and high school. Are you concerned about the additional attention and pressure that may put on them due to you being president? Did you get any of that when you were at Easton?
I never did, really, growing up. Obviously you might have a disagreement with someone or it was almost used more against me in a way than it was. It didn't really affect my everyday life at school, no. But that was a lot smaller district. I mean, everybody knew everyone out there, you know. If I was a sophomore and you were talking about someone in third grade, I mean, you knew the family. You knew everybody. Everybody on the board was, you know, we all grew up together. But I don't really see it being much of an issue. I know the last year there hasn't really been an issue that I know of. I know the kids, it hasn't really affected them any that I know of. And I don't think me being president will really change that, because I'm still just a member of the board.
Right.
It's not like I can go in and make a decision on my own to change someone's life or change someone's career. You know, it still takes a majority of the board to make a decision. And I would hope that me being up at the forefront and leading the meetings and trying to help, you know, organize everything, that wouldn't affect it any more than just being a regular board member.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. I was worried you were going to be like, oh, life's been terrible for them. It's
Yeah.
the worst year of their lives.
You have some pretty cool kids too.
Yeah,
Come here to the district office, so we know
You do
that.
have some
Yeah.
cool
You know, I feel
Kudos.
like we hit the jackpot on our kids. We've, you know, couldn't ask for any better kids. And
I think they are the way they
Yeah.
are because of you guys, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell.
I like to hope it has a little bit to do with me, but, you know, I'm sure my wife would say it's all her. But,
50-50, right?
yeah. I'd take
75-25.
I'd take 60-40.
You'll take 60-40.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
60-40. You're that Amber 60-40. You
Yeah.
got your 60.
So at our January board meeting, you set dates and topics for work sessions. For our listeners who don't know what those are, those meetings allow the board to learn more about a specific topic related to the district. Examples would be listening to each classified director to hear about what each department does. We had one talk about goals, another to discuss special ed funding. So what do you think is the most valuable work session that you've attended? One that stood out to you?
Well, looking back at the last year, I really enjoyed, and a lot of these weren't specific work sessions. They were kind of the onboarding process that was kind of new, the orientation of the board. And they followed into some of the work sessions, but getting the one-on-one with all the directors and really seeing their day-to-day and their goals for their individual goals for their department, for the district, that really stood out to me, and it really helped us understand, you know,
Right off the bat.
how the district worked, and it just really helped us
Yeah.
moving into the board as new members, that
Oh, that's good.
felt like we were
Yeah.
almost 2 steps ahead, you know.
Yeah. I can tell you I was really nervous for mine. I was. I gave it, I was shaking. I'm like, put me first.
You're nervous about these podcasts, so I mean, I can
it's
definitely
true.
see you
It's
being
true.
nervous
I was,
for
yeah.
that.
You can do a little
I
power
enjoyed it
play.
that night. I remember doing that one
Yeah.
with you guys.
You're
and
all your element in that.
This is your element too. You're getting to talk about what you do.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the questions that you all gave me and some of the comments and things to think about. So I'm glad that you found those helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, those, and I mean, I've always been a numbers person, so like the budget stuff, I enjoyed that.
Right.
But, I mean, that's kind of my day-to-day. I work with a lot of numbers, always budgeting, you know, in the construction field, and it's a day-to-day, every day, you know, you're looking at the numbers. So, I mean, to be able to correlate my daily life with this was
Right.
really, really nice to be able to mesh the two together.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So our next question might be one of the tougher questions, but you know we've seen some at board meetings, public comments. You know, I don't actually get involved too much in social media, but I can imagine that there's a lot out there of, you know, comments and feelings, which is natural. But can you talk a little bit? There seems to be maybe some discontent or some strife between the board and teachers and students at times with some things that are going on. How do you think the current board can earn back the trust of teachers and students if people do feel that way? And it might not be a majority, but if there are people that feel that way, what are some things that you think as a board, especially now as the president, you can do to earn back that trust?
Well, honestly, it's funny you mentioned the social media thing, because I think this day and age, from when we went to school, is the social media rules everything. And a lot of the problem I feel, or a lot of the issue is that we might have an agenda item, or, you know, something might be known that is coming up at the board meeting. Well, then you get on social media and there might be a rumor that it's about this, or we're trying to do this, or the board's trying to do this, and it might not have anything to do with that agenda item, but it starts the whole process and the ball rolling towards negativity or something. And I don't know if there's really any way to stop that per se, other than I would really like to see, I mean, we obviously get emails from people before the board meetings, and it's not a whole lot, because usually the emails start after the big process of the social media and the whole idea of what might be coming. That's when the emails start. But I think if we can find a way to really get the staff and community involved on a more personal level, I think that would really help to where everyone feels comfortable coming to a member, calling them, or even, like I said, I'm in a lot of the activities, and I really don't have a whole lot of people come up and, just to converse. I do have a few, but
I was just going to ask you that.
I want people to feel comfortable where if they have a question, come approach me. That's why I'm there. I've always thought I was pretty approachable. My wife might say different, sometimes, but but I want everyone to feel comfortable coming to a board member if they have a question or a problem. And on the other side of that, I would like the board to know, to feel comfortable having that person come to them and be able to give them the courtesy to hear them out and know that they're being heard. Because I think that's a big thing. It's, as of late, it seems like some staff or community feel like they've emailed or they've spoke with someone, but they're still not being heard, they're being ignored. And I mean, that could be, I'm not really sure what to say to that, other than I've always been a person to go straight to the source, So if I heard something, have the decency to come speak to me face to face or call me on the phone. I graduated in 2000, and in Easton we didn't have all the technology, so like the emails and everything. I'm more of a face-to-face person, and I think it means a lot as a board member and as a staff member or a community member to it really shows, I'm not really sure the word I'm looking for here, but it really can show you as a person by going and voicing yourself one-to-one with someone. And if we can get to that point to where everyone's comfortable and everyone feels like their voice is heard, then I think that would be a huge help in trying to bridge that gap that we're seeing right now.
And that's, again, going back to that strategic planning committee, we were face to face.
Yes,
You
exactly.
see people as a human. You're not behind a computer typing, but, I think that's, we
And
should have more opportunities
I've
for that.
had a few ideas of, I haven't even brought this to any board members or anybody yet. I've only been on for a week and a half.
Yeah.
But at the convention, listening to some other superintendents and stuff and how they have they'll have coffee with board members for the community or for staff, and I think just doing something like that to make yourself available would be a huge help.
Right, and have those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make yourself approachable.
That's something we can look at as a district too, to be able to, just from here in the office, to help move, facilitate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
It's a great
Yeah.
idea.
There's a few of, I guess there's 3 of us that have kids in the district, so there's 4 that, they don't have any kids, so they might not be at a lot of events.
Right.
And just making yourself available to the public, I think, will be one step in the right direction.
I think accessibility is a big deal.
Right.
And I think that people knowing that we have set times, or my door's always open, or call me whenever you want, come and see me at an event, whether that be community members and constituents or teachers,
Yeah.
to know I'm willing to have a conversation with you, and that
Yeah.
sounds like a great idea. So just tell me when.
And understand the why behind reasonings. You guys aren't just going willy-nilly with stuff. There's reasons, so.
Well, and I'm kind of glad you said that, because I know that a lot of what you see in the board meeting is a yes or no, this and that. There's, which it even getting on the board, there's so much more that goes on and so much more information behind the scenes that you don't see in the meeting that really goes into effect of that decision.
Right.
And I think also as a board, we need to do a better job of kind of explaining the process and having a little more in-depth discussion on certain items,
Yeah.
and trying to explain both sides of it. I think that would also
Right.
help.
Bridge that gap.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
people listen. That's a thing too.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
works both ways.
So the unifying that you talked about earlier, about like unifying the community and stuff, you would agree that you also would love to unify the teachers in that process, right? I mean, like make us all closer and better, right?
Yes, I believe that if we're gonna succeed as a district and be the shining star that we wanna be, then we all have to be working together.
Right.
And I think with that, it comes down to you gotta understand that, and everyone needs to understand it, that, you know, everyone's not gonna be happy at the same time. And in my opinion, just coming from the business end of the deal and dealing with people and people management a lot, that if someone is happy, completely happy, then you got someone on the other side that's gonna be completely mad. They're not happy about any of it. And if you have everyone in the middle, then they might not be completely happy, they might not be totally just pissed off at the world. But they're all content with the direction we're in. And I think that's what we need to find, that happy medium right in between.
Right.
Well said. Well
Yeah.
said.
Thank you for that question. I know that was not the easiest one,
Yeah.
but this one's easy, I think. You know, Miles and I have been attending lots of college career fairs
Yeah.
to get new recruits, which we enjoy doing, and it's been fun to do that, and it's fun to sell the district. So how, as a board member, would you sell the district to a college student wanting to come here to work for us?
Especially with so many surrounding districts that, you know, are solid districts,
Yeah.
it'd be easy to pick them over us. What
Yeah.
would,
Well, I mean, I think number one, we probably have the best retention and recruitment team in place right now. So that's
Thank you.
number one.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
make us feel pretty good. Usually we try to make our guests feel good. This is it. Thank you.
that's number one.
My new favorite episode. Right here.
Yeah. You know, I'm
Play
trying to
some
win you
repeat.
guys over too. No, I mean, number one is the face of who you have out there to get, because you have to get the people here to be able to even have a chance at recruiting them. And you guys have done an outstanding job at that.
Aw.
And I'll give you kudos.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Thank
you
you.
have. You kind of, we talked about it as a board goal, I think it was in January, and this kind of started, and you guys hit the ground running and have done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And couldn't appreciate what you have done more.
Thanks. And with that, we'll wrap up the
Yep,
episode.
that's it.
So,
We're done. Leave on a high note.
remember, if you want to listen to that, you can find us on. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
But no, personally, I mean, I came from a smaller district than Lansing. But when you think of Lansing, they are still a smaller district, you know, and they do have that small town, hometown feel and a small hometown community feel. And that is a real bright spot for someone new looking to come in.
Yeah.
That when you're looking to the larger Olathe, Johnson County districts, you know, the real huge ones, that I think we had a conversation before that, you know, you might just be another teacher or another number down
Right.
there. And just watching watching teachers and staff since I've got on the board, you really do have that small town feel that when someone new walks in, I think they could honestly say that the first time they walk in that building, they're going to have someone that they can go to, or someone's going to have their back, because everyone in the building wants them to succeed, because they're all working toward the common goal of having successful students leave the district.
Yeah.
And you can see that just going to the activities, you know, with the conferences for the kids, basketball games, football games. There's just so much support for everyone
Right.
there
Yeah.
that it really does, you know, it gives you the warm, fuzzy feeling.
It
that
does.
you
I
get.
love
And-
how many teachers go to their students' games.
Yeah,
There's
a
several
lot
that'll
there,
go.
yeah.
Just to watch their students, they just love it.
Yeah, and
Because
you
we
know,
have
they
that
might
community feeling. Yeah.
they might not even be there to watch the game. They're there to watch the band.
Exactly, yeah,
Or they're
right.
there to watch their students sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
But they'll
It's so
stay
true.
and support everyone.
Mhm.
And I think that's a big, big selling point,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. And we're close to bigger things.
Mhm.
That's the other thing. We're not out in the boonies like way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not
close to
way
city.
out. We're
Yeah.
close enough to Kansas City. You know, you can be to any of the restaurants. Anything you want to do, you can be there. 30 minutes, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on how fast you drive.
Right.
You know.
I can get there in about 15.
I would say I've kind of got a lead foot, so, you know.
That's really funny. So we also like to ask our guests how they increase their knowledge, and that's one that's come up a lot of times in our podcast. So what are some ways, Jeff, that you have worked toward becoming a better board member in your first year in the role? So what are things that you've done or gone to?
Well, like Sharon said, I mean, we've had all the work sessions, and that has been an extreme help for learning the district. And as a whole, I mean, I went to the state convention in November and attended sessions down there, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to make sure I go to this every year because, you know, really got some good information. And it was really good to see some of the other districts that may be having the same issues or same problems, because other districts would put on that session. So you really got to see how they worked through it, the steps they took
that's
to
great.
solve the
Yeah.
problems. And I mean, it was a lot of the KASB sessions you can sign up for are really good. And I went to the new board member training last year with KASB. And between that and the convention, those are the only two that I got to attend last year. Hopefully this year, I took a different position at work, so I have a little bit more leeway on weekends and stuff. So I'm hoping to maybe broaden that this
Great.
year
Yeah.
and attend a few more things, be a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
But
I love that. I wouldn't be, I don't think it's great or anything like that, but I wouldn't be as good as I've got to become in this last year and a half here at Lansing if I didn't have people in my corner that I've been networking with out of district that have been doing this longer than I have. So I love that you're also kind of taking that, like, hey, how can I learn from other districts who have probably already faced something that we faced?
yeah,
It is helpful, isn't it? Just to hear somebody else like, hey, here's what we did, here's what we're facing, so it doesn't seem as if you're on an island and have to decide it on your own or figure it out on your own.
yeah, it really is good to know that it gives, like you said, it gives you that networking ability that, you know, if you have a problem, you know, well, I remember so-and-so talking about that, you can go to them. Because that was one thing with that. Everyone was there to try to help everyone be a better board member.
Right.
And they made it clear, you know, and more than willing to give out contact information and, you know, feel free to reach out if you need anything.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
great.
been great.
I
So,
bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Support system.
we had a kind of like what you were doing with KSB. I've been having a chance to go to district leadership meetings with Greenbush, and there was a superintendent that said something recently that's really stuck out to me. And what he said was, it's whenever something's coming at you, whether it be as a board member, as a district, you know, a new issue, you know, typically that's what we're talking about, like something we have to overcome or a difficult scenario, whatever it is. It's not you, it's nothing you've done as a board or as a district per se. It's just your turn. You know what I mean? It's just your turn to face something.
Yeah.
And then now it's up to you to decide how to face the thing. So I love that you're having an opportunity to network with other people to see how they've done it to inform your decision. So that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so our first episode was called This I Believe. So Miles and I talked about our This I Believe statements. We have a personal and a work one. Do you want to tell them what yours were?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Of course, yes. I think. No, just kidding. I mean, I meant the personal one was, but the professional one was always be open-minded and continue to be a learner. I remember that one. I'd like to think my personal one
I
was
just put you on the
probably
spot.
around being empathetic and kind and nice and fun.
That was mine.
Dang it, that's what I was gonna say. What was my personal? I know my This I Believe statement. I think.
right, obviously.
Shut up, Sharon. I just don't remember the
love getting
exact.
it.
So what was mine?
I don't remember. I know mine.
What was your
Right.
professional one?
Celebrating one another, I think.
Okay, so
Yes.
I
so
will
it's
go back and
kindness-
check those,
yeah.
but yes, it's yes.
Okay.
The personal one for me,
You have the growth. What did you say? Growth mindset.
yes, that's what I'd said.
Yes.
About being a growth mindset kind of person.
Yes, because you talked about your dad.
Wow. I swear that I need to work on my memory, and it was.
I hope mine was celebrate one another.
For the record, it was authentic. It's
Anyway,
just that-
I'm sorry.
Anyway, long story
So-
what-
One
yes.
What would your this I believe statements be for your personal, and then maybe even for the board? I guess for
Okay.
they could be the same.
Yeah, they may very well be the same, but just yeah, and you may have already kind of hit on it a little bit with some things you've said.
Well, I believe this, I guess, would go personal and professional. Let's start with personal. I think personal, I believe that you should be your true self and show who you really are at all times. And I mean, I kind of, growing up, I was real close to my grandfather, and he always told me, he always kind of helped, don't be afraid to say what you think. And if you have a problem or a conflict, don't be afraid to get involved and be a solution and not part of the problem.
Oh, I love that.
And I think if we could all try to remember that we're all working toward a solution, and I use this as my personal one, so, you kind of have to remember that as a family as well. Because as you hit problems, don't be afraid to say what you think and how you feel and come to a common goal for your children, for your family, for everyone. And I think that can also roll over into the professional as well. Be yourself. Don't put on a fake persona to try to please someone. Because if you can truly be yourself, you're going to earn the respect of everyone. And with that, I want to throw communication in there. I believe that communication is a key to success for anything. Especially with dealing with kids or people, communication is key, because you have to be able to listen for what you say to be heard. And if you can only do one of those, then it's not going to work out well.
Yeah. That is great. We just kind of had a conversation about this. Yeah.
We did talk about that.
Being a good listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to, I think I'm a solid listener for the most part. I do a pretty good job validating, but I run into a problem, which I think a lot of us do, which is I already start formulating a response while the person is still speaking. So that's like one thing I'm trying to get better at, is like dedicating and giving my entire attention and then allowing myself to formulate the answer, just so it doesn't seem as if I'm missing something or I'm making a decision before I've listened to all of it. So I'm trying to be a little more introspective with that. So
We had that conversation about connecting with people, and that's kind of it's how you can connect, is you need to be able to listen, Yeah,
I would completely agree with that. I mean, just from my, 21 years in the business that I've been in, that if you don't give people the time to hear them out and to feel or hear their problems, and you're already at your decision, then they feel like they're not being heard. And it's kind of the same situation we're running into now with some of the teachers and staff, but you have to provide a good environment to keep your help. And it all starts at, being a good leader and letting everyone have their voice be heard. So,
well said. Well said. So, if you're a regular listener, you know that we like to throw a few fun surprise questions to choose
This is
from.
the fun part.
So we went through this. This was a heavy
Yeah.
episode at times. So thank you very much for the great
Yeah.
answers. But now we're gonna have some fun.
Yes. I have
So-
fun picking the questions.
Yes.
They're tailored for the guest. So these are your
so you
questions.
changed them
You
up.
get to-
I was
they're
studying
changed.
from the last
Yep.
episode.
No.
Yeah, you can't do that.
no.
Your girl will
Yeah.
always surprise you
Yeah.
with these. All right, go for it. Sharon.
Actually, I did carry one over from Dalen's because Dalen didn't choose this one and I wanted him to.
So the first one.
Yes.
Okay.
If you had to choose an actor to play you in a movie, who would it be? Okay, that's your first one. Second, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? Third, what weapon would you choose in a zombie apocalypse?
And question 4: what's your favorite Rocky movie? So if you're a Rocky fan, we'll come back. You have to answer that one too, but that's later. But which one of those three? The actor that would play you, one superpower, what would it be and why, or weapon you would choose in a zombie apocalypse?
I'm going to go with the first question.
All right, yes.
That's what I wanted. The
okay,
zombie
who would it be?
question. There
Who
it
would
is.
it be?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I know no one will probably agree with this. My wife doesn't even agree with it, but I hold on to it because it's all I have to hold on to.
Okay.
Let's do it.
They're not an actor, but they are a musician.
Ooh.
So I would choose Kenny Chesney
All right.
because
Has he been in that movie?
I don't know, but he could start if I was going to be a star.
Yeah.
But I had one person say that, I've been compared to looking like him like twice.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really see it, but maybe other people do.
I would
My
just-
wife doesn't see it, and that's fine. But that's all I have to hold on to. So
I'm
that's-
pulling up a picture of Kenny Chesney because
me
I'm going
see.
to tell you right now, Kenny
Put a
Chesney,
cowboy hat on.
Kenny
He's got
Chesney
it.
could walk through this door.
Yeah.
And I take it you would faint, and I would be like, "Hey, what's up, pal? What do you need something?"
Something?
So I don't know if I know much
Well,
about
I'm not
him.
necessarily saying that I'm a big fan of him.
Oh,
I mean,
you just think that you?
I'm just
okay.
saying that's
Yeah.
all I have to hold on to.
Gotcha.
You know, someone thinks that I might look a little bit like him.
So here's the thing.
You know?
I think I've almost always seen you in a hat. So I do
Yeah.
like that almost all these pictures I'm finding of Kenny Chesney on Google.
Yeah,
He
let me see it.
also only wears hats, even a Christmas hat in this one. Here you go. There's Kenny Chesney. I do wish you had a. Do you have a cowboy hat?
No, I don't.
I would recommend a cowboy hat, just so we can get an accurate idea.
like
What do
this.
you?
And
what
you
do
can be honest. You can say that those
No,
people
go
are
ahead.
crazy.
Let's
but
open up a
that's-
picture of Kenny Chesney. Like
It's my
zoomed
story,
in.
and I'm sticking
I like
to
it
it.
with the picture you chose, by the way.
Is that even him?
Am I allowed to say the picture that you
Yeah,
chose?
that's him.
'Cause I do think it's really funny.
I don't think
she
I was. I
scrolled
don't think I'm
halfway down and she picked the Kenny Chesney shirtless with a guitar on the beach. Good choice, Sharon.
Thank
So
you,
I'm gonna go,
thank
and you can't even see his face in it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know why you chose. I know why you chose that one. So here's a one. I'm sorry, his shirt is on, Sharon. But there you go.
Yeah. Ooh, I do kind
You're
of see
showing
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let me see it.
I do.
Let me see it.
Oh, well, I don't have the.
Oh, the side. Oh, the side view.
Give me
The side profile. Let's see. Okay, there's kind of a side profile.
Go like this. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I can see a
Yes.
little. Can you
Yes.
see?
Yeah, you got it. You got.
No.
Did you look up? Has he acted before?
Okay, I'll look that up
Yeah.
right now. So Kenny Chesney would be the person. What other reason? Mainly just because of the similarities, or is there anything else? Is it just?
Yeah, just that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can
Yeah.
hold. You know.
All right, we're gonna see if Kenny
And
Chesney.
it makes me feel good that you guys kind of agree with that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we had it up.
We got you. We got you. It looks like Kenny Chesney was in. It looks like a lot of movies that are his type of movie, like Kenny Chesney's Summer in 3D.
Oh.
Oh no, hold on. He was in a movie with Adam Sandler and David Spade called The Do-Over.
Okay.
I don't think I saw that one. He was in Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. At least this is what it's saying. Unless that, you know what? Maybe this is saying that the music was in it. I don't really know. I'd have to
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
we
know.
could
do a
that.
deep dive. But we're gonna pretend that he was
Yeah.
in movies.
Yes.
So Kenny, great job. Big fan of Adam Sandler. So.
You know who I would pick, right? For myself.
Oh, is this what it was? I think
Yeah,
that's what
let's
it was.
go.
No,
Okay,
that's
Sharon's
that's
turn.
purely what it was. She's like, God, I hope somebody picks it. So I can say what she's about to say now, which is,
You want to guess?
I've always thought that you look like somebody.
Uh-huh.
I've always thought that you look like Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, I would totally pick Kristen Wiig.
The SNL, and she's been in
I
Bridesmaid.
had somebody else tell me that after you told me that.
Yeah, I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. I don't know if I've ever really thought about this question about who would play me, and who I.
We've talked about who people have said you look like, though.
Which was it again? Which
The
one?
Star Trek guy.
Oh yeah. Somebody said that
his
from the newer Star Trek people, but or the newer Star Trek.
And he was in a show too.
He was in
Yeah.
Heroes. He was
Heroes,
the bad
yes.
guy in Heroes.
Yes.
His name is. I should know this. Sorry, almost there. Give me a moment.
This is great for
Zachary Quinto, Quin. It's him, right? In the hand. See it a little bit. Clean shaven.
Yep.
in that
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Does he have a
I can see
beard?
it.
Let's see if we can find him with a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom, I still have the beard, by the way. Sorry. My mom's not a fan of the beard. She likes the clean shaven. I can't find.
Go ahead and answer your favorite Rocky movie because he's gonna
Yes,
ask
thank you. I don't
Yeah.
care about this anymore.
While he's
at all.
looking this up, do you
I
have a
care
favorite
less
Rocky
about
movie?
Zachary Quinto. I want to hear more about your favorite Rocky movie. Do you have a favorite Rocky movie?
Rocky?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
All of them? Like including the bad fifth one?
Well,
Yeah.
it's been so long since I watched them.
Ooh,
but
Just
go with Mr.
there's a
T.
whole.
I'll
there's
tell
a-
you right now,
Mr.
I've
T.
seen it once, I think, and that's all I need to see it. Like, you sure? You don't, it hasn't like scarred you? Rocky 5 scarred me because it was so awful compared to 4.
Give me
Well,
break.
It's
this is
true. I don't know
funny
why
you
I
brought
laughed
up
at-
Rocky because
Okay.
when I was a kid growing up, I was probably what? It's been a long time. What year was it? Rocky?
76 was the first one.
Okay,
Ooh,
so
gosh,
this
I'm a
would've
bigger
been
fan than I
probably-
thought I was. That I
That
knew
was
that right
weird,
off the
yeah.
bat.
Probably would
Yeah.
have been late 80s
Okay.
when I got involved with Rocky.
All right. Ooh, right when
And-
the fifth terrible one I think was coming up. We continue.
What's with this guy?
I
It's
know.
awful.
Just something
That's
you
what
don't
it
have to
is.
put up with.
That's what it
You're ruining my memory.
Yeah, leave him alone. Let him
okay,
talk.
I
I've been
apologize.
holding on to this, now you're trying to ruin it.
I'm just trying to fix it. That's all it is. But continue. Yes.
The only thing I wanted forever was a Rocky shirt.
Okay.
And I remember throwing the biggest fit as a kid until someone would finally get me a Rocky shirt. And I wore that shirt forever. And I might be able to still find it. I need to ask my mom. She might have it in the
And you said
storage.
late 80s? Did you get the shirt in the late 80s, or do you think it was early 90s?
It might have been early 90s.
Oh, no. Okay, so Rocky V came out in 1990. So what I'm worried about is that if you finally were able to convince the parents to get you the shirt, they went to the store. It most likely was the most recent movie. So I'm really hoping.
Pull up. Look for Rocky shirt.
You want me to type in
Yeah,
shirt? Should I type
because
it?
I can remember it vividly.
Okay,
What it
all
was.
right. Rocky
Please don't be Rocky
t-shirts. Oh my God, if it's
Please don't
Rocky
be
V,
Rocky V.
I don't know. I mean, I can't not invite you on the episode, but I can delete this episode.
It was
okay.
it was before 5 came out. I know it because
Okay.
I was
You
still
can
like
scroll
first.
there. There's a lot of Rocky t-shirts.
Well, those are white ones. I know it was a black shirt.
Okay. See if you can find it. I'll take this moment to explain all of the flaws of the 5th movie.
Oh, no.
Really?
Really?
Okay. All right. You're right. This would turn out into being
Yeah.
like an hour and a half
I
episode.
know.
And the majority of it would be talking about the flaws of Rocky V. What if somebody like really like listening to this and like that's their favorite one?
I'm going to put this as one of the subjects of this episode is Rocky.
Yeah.
You know when I do my little hashtags?
Let's get
Search
out there, put it
Rocky.
out in the world.
I'm not even seeing the shirt here.
Okay, that might be new ones. Let me see if I
Go
narrow
vintage.
it down. Vintage.
Vintage.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Gracious.
Okay. I'm gonna look up the vintage.
But he was
shirts.
like my childhood
Rocky was.
hero. I wanted to be Rocky. When
Even
I was-
after you saw 5?
I'm trying to tell you, I don't know if 5 made any difference in my decision, good or bad. But I always have a
Didn't matter.
positive
Ooh, these look
Yes.
like some
memory
How
of
about some
Rocky.
oh, hold on. I'm gonna put the color on there. Maybe we'll get lucky and that'll help us. No, they won't. Okay. I'm doing the best here. I'm trying to help him out.
I fought and threw a fit forever. My parents would never get me the shirt.
Some of those
finally,
were in school.
may she rest in peace, my grandmother finally got me that shirt.
Aw.
And I was the
Yeah.
happiest kid
That's so
in the whole
sweet.
school.
Oh, no, it's really sweet. I mean, if she got you the 5th one though, but I mean, it's
I
still.
really
it was
feel
really
like we should.
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
I really feel like we should get Jeff to wear a Rocky shirt to the next board meeting.
Yeah, you're the board president. You can do whatever you want.
It needs to be
Unless
a
it's
gift
Rocky
for coming
V.
on.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it here, Miles.
That's okay. That's okay.
We'll see if we can
I
figure
think-
it out. You know what?
Yeah.
I say we'll look for it, and then we'll make it like part of the thumb.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
thumbnail for your
picture for this
Yeah, there you
podcast.
go.
I can Photoshop you wearing it. You know? If you find it, send it to me.
Okay.
We'll make this
I
happen.
highly doubt my mom probably has it because I probably wore it until.
Or just even like
It
a
was
picture of
threads.
it.
Even a picture of it.
picture.
We'll go through it
Yeah,
together.
I'll have
We'll
to
see.
look.
And
Yeah.
you know what we'll do is why don't we carve out a time that we can try to find the picture, and I can also explain to you the reasons why the 5th movie.
Okay.
Okay. So I think
You're
it's
not going
perfect.
to let it go, I see.
No, he
Oh,
will
absolutely not.
He will not.
Pretty much like, yeah, I'm on a crusade in
Every
life.
conversation you have with Miles from here on out will circle
be-
back to Rocky V.
Yeah.
Why it
The
was
good
so
news, the good news is that it's universally accepted that it's awful. So it's going to be fine. I mean,
Go ahead.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this
Yeah.
episode of the live broadcast. As always, for more updates and stories on Lansing USD469, you can visit us at www.usd469.net.
And if you don't already have it, download the free Lansing USD 469 mobile app on Apple and Android. The app allows you to be the first one to know about all the fantastic things happening in our district, including snow days. Be the first to know about. Go ahead, say it.
No, you
I
just
stole
took
it.
my thunder,
Yeah,
so
I-
just say it. Just say it. It's too late now.
I'll let you say Castbox. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that's a shame that you took away the snow day one, since we're in January and it's closer to having a chance for a snow day. So,
But get
of
the
all
app.
times
The point
to
is
do
get
it,
the app. Go ahead.
Get the app. Get the app. We are. No, I'm not going to name all these. You're better at that than I am. Go. We are available on.
You missed your
Oh yeah. Sorry. If you like our content, want to stay up to date on the latest episodes, please follow us wherever you are listening to us and leave a review to help others find us and learn more about our great district.
We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and
Castbox, which, by the way, I'm not going to say anything about after the email I got from their attorneys. And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, please send us an email at sharon.burns@usd469.net.
I think you just made our board president nervous that there's a lawsuit about Castbox.
Don't worry.
Now, there's no.
No, Castbox, don't worry about it. I mean, their lawyer is not even, there was like spelling errors in it, so I don't even think
Yeah,
he's really an
okay.
attorney.
That's a wrap on number 11.
Number 11.
Yes, number 11.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.